Well, I'll tell you, I'm sitting here clearing up stuff again, doing my thing, figuring out stuff mathematically and stuff, and looking at things differently all the time. And I will tell you that I've got the other camera taping right here. I'm going to shut it off at 30 minutes. I'll just use it as footage, I'm sure. Good, because I think I was walking around outside. But anyway, you know, now in this here book that I sent the government, it's a thick book, it's like big. I'll go and grab it real quick. Well, it's not a book, it's document facts. And you know, the Washington Department of L&I got a package like this, and so did the governor, Governor Emsley over here in Washington State. I had never heard back from Mr. Emsley. And I'll tell you what, Donna teases women, J for John, and it hooks them, and etc. And I also figured out earlier in a mathematical thing, and you know, I figured this out, you know, because they kind of kept me off track and stuff. You know, I was actually, mathematically, I could have actually been the President of the United States on the 47th one. I kind of figured out I could be the 50th president too, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to be fucking president because of all this crap anyway and what I've gone through. But now, saying that alone, I'm not no glory seeker in that sense of the word at all, but except Jesus Christ, if you hire me onto a job, I want to make sure that job sells at the end of the fucking, you know, when the contract comes up and we gotta sell it to the fucking bank or the new owners and stuff, you know, it's on a deal. And Donald Trump doesn't know how to conduct business such as that because he doesn't have the fucking experience. He's a running around doper. I think he just run drugs out there in New York City. And you know, I seen pictures. I mean, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm going, what's the makeup of this guy? But anyway, that's not my problem, that's his. But now if it's been set up some way that I've come back and I figured this guy out and I've helped the world out in some way, and Donald Trump now has been fucking unplugged, I think he'll just go poof down. You know, and I'm looking for these people back to the Middle East now. I just feel like something's majorly shifted. Maybe the planets lined up, you know, everything's lined up, baby, you know, but such way. But now I want to talk to you about these bowling alleys. Now look, that Herb Kreitzer down there in Chehalis bowling alley, you know, he took the signage off it. He doesn't really want you to know it's a bowling alley. Now that one in Morton, they don't really want you to know it's a bowling alley either. And they've disguised it, and you know what? They're threatening people with a saw. Don't say anything over at Chehalis Bowl. CB. You know, the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, well, they have bowling leagues and it's coast to coast. Now all these people could be networking together, and I feel that they're networking right through the bowling centers, and that's why you had that problem over there in Maine. That bowling alley got shot up. The guy that got shot was, I think, the original owner of that. They probably switched the ownership around a little bit, but that old guy was there fucking working on that machine because a lot of people don't know how to work on that stuff and keep it going. You know, and I'll tell you that fucking firsthand right down the line. Now, you take the Alpine Bowling Center, which is now Millhouse Smokehouse, named after Millhouse Nixon. Now, if that thing was either a bomb or something down there, then Dad, you know, there's a big septic system right off to the left right there. Is that something? Dig it up. There's, okay, they were playing Big John and that saying, Big John, Big Bad John, you know, at the bottom of this mine, there's a big man, John. You know, they were telling me, and also, we had a Christmas there, the only Christmas there. Patty was there, Debbie was there, George was there, Marietta was there, and they bought me a fucking hat a plastic fucking hat that had a little box trap door in it. And, you know, they watched me open it up and everything, you know, like, it was just, to me, it was so goddamn fake because I've been through everything else. And this boy gets shot in front of me, and now this goddamn magic hat that these fucking weirdos are doing. And then I get all this here stuff, and the Zodiac saying it's a place that's buried someplace, and they give me tips and stuff, so after their death, I would be able to fucking uncover it. And there's this Kimsey and these are guys kind of like playing this fucking game with me because they know they set this up. They just have to have somebody come forward and prove it. You know? Well, if that's the case, I goddamn proved it. And now if they're going and they're using these bowling centers and stuff and they want to use them and erupt, okay, they've closed down the economy where they can go and put these through those 10 bowling centers that I seen on the map. I mean, you go and you just type in Lewis County bowling, and like this, the map comes up for our bowling in Chehalis, Washington, and all this area opens up, and there's these bowling alleys, these 10. And I was thinking, man, are these things all part of that D.B. Cooper money? Now I find out George is a Zodiac too. Oh boy, now the Zodiac's clues and stuff is saying something else. Now, West Side right up here by my attorney's fucking office. And what's going on in my attorney's office? Can he use that to detonate the place? Because James Rowland, one crazy bastard, he's my attorney, and he would probably do something like that. Mr. South Dakota that was sitting in his office fucking threatening me. What's going on in that building up there? I think it's like 1501. And I think, again, it's 9. I mean, if you look at the address, I mean, it's weird. But it's at Harrison and Plymouth, like Plymouth Rock, man. Here we are. We landed right here. And now the bowling center just down the way, West Side Lanes. You know what? Right there, it says O'Malley's Lounge. Well, O'Malley's his fucking partner. You know? Now, these guys, Roland and O'Malley, they've been in business for a goddamn long time. And this is fucking about a lot of fucking bullshit. 10 bowling alleys right here. You know what? These could be all fucking booby-trapped right now. They have people coming in and stuff. Could they turn it into, we're going to hold these people hostages? You better fucking give up. Close the bowling alleys in the Pacific Northwest. I fucking know. I've been ripped off for a couple of them. I goddamn think that it's a goddamn smart move to do. Maybe somebody should do it. And by the way, Nationside, if I'm Nationside, I'll be on your side. I'm telling you what, this bowling alley over in Maine, Lewiston, Maine, represents the bowling alley in Lewis County, Washington and stuff. And they're saying, don't you goddamn tell. If they put back pressure there, they did this here, they did that in Lebanon. And I'm telling you, from the river to the sea, if all these twin county credit unions are rigged to fucking blow, you know, I mean, I'm thinking hypothetical, but I goddamn know I've been dealing with this Twin Star Credit Union. They got the 21st one up there. Is that fucking Twin Star Credit Union right across the street from that museum rigged to blow too? I mean, that's a fucking hell of a fucking right to fucking America, and then we could be invaded from the inside out. I think we better be fucking aware. You go into fucking the law enforcement might be involved in all this here. You might have to send the military in and demolition people because of the fact that they could have this booby trap. And by the way, I was told, you know, they can make things disappear at 60 feet. Well, that building up there, right there on Main Street, more than that hotel, I think that's 60 feet by 60 feet by 60 feet. I mean, if you want to talk about something that's rigged to fucking blow, and if they're going to blow it down there, you know, at the Morton Logos Jubilee, but, you know, I put a lot of pressure on them. Maybe it never happened then. But I guarantee you something's fucking smelling like it's pretty goddamn bad. They're selling pulled pork in that bowling alley down there in Morton, Washington. They got a saw on it. It's right next to the mortuary. And I'm telling you, the septic system, there's a septic system there that there was an issue. There's the bottom of that thing where there's that coal in there at the bottom of that bowling alley underneath the tavern. That's at 208 Main Street, that stairway going right there, you go across the lanes and right through that, you go down the bottom of the stairs, and if you just stepped right over those lanes and walked diagonally, you'd walk right through that door. There's a fucking furnace right to the right, and also if you came from the street, there's a stairway going down right there. I've been through that fucking door probably 100 goddamn times. I have seen that, and my dad used to send me through that thing so I would see that fucking furnace. You know, he would fucking send me out the back door of that fucking bowling alley to do stuff. And I'll tell you, people could sneak in that fucking bowling alley, and they could have snuck something in there. And Herb Kreitzer, he took the signage off his bowling alley. And he also, up above it, there's two things that go up like this, and I don't know what that is. It's definitely an add-on to that bowling alley, so that's a strange thing. They painted that bowling alley gray rock, just like the Morton bowling alley, and also that Centralia bowling alley that's over there on Tower Street, that was owned by Marietta Spencer and Adrian Cody and Earl. I really liked Earl. But I liked all of them. I liked all of them. You know, that and Marietta Spencer, she was just really a nice person. She was a friend of mine, or a friend of the family. But you know what? Marietta Spencer, Elger was the one that drove me up that road and told me about blowing all this stuff up. But at my grandmother's house, when I was there cleaning up the property, and I got to cut this off in a minute, I was throwing stuff in the fire, and I was just about ready to throw something, and I cut off to a different story. But what was in that thing was a round tub like this, and my cousin Jack grabbed it out of my hand and said, "No." He says, "There's dynamite in that." Why was there dynamite in that thing on the farm? And by the way, not only there's dynamite there, but over at Ted's place there's dynamite. But he's a construction person, and I worked around with dynamite. I've seen it right there underneath his welder. It's just there. I don't think he had anything to hide. If suspicion would go on my Uncle Ted. But now his wife, Pat, my Aunt Pat with an L in her name, Patricia L. Dunn, she's definitely involved in the whole goddamn trooper thing. And anyway, take it from me for what it is worth. I try to tell you the truth as I fucking find out. And this is 2 minutes, or 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Here we go. Bye.